Hello, I am Steve of Steve for Bees, and this is another live bee removal done in South Central Texas. I called it the Obfuscated Forced Abscond because it was not where it was thought to have been, and we had to hunt all over the yard looking for it. We literally had to climb trees with ladders, looking in tree after tree. We recently got a call from a customer about bees in a tree near Elmendorf, Texas. She told us that the man cutting the grass was attacked by bees coming out of a specific tree. We arrived and the bees were not in the tree the landscaper thought they were in. We hunted high and low for the bees, even climbing trees. After a while, I walked by a tree not looking down and got stung on the ankle. I found the bees, or should I say, the bees found me. I often get asked, why or how does something like this happen? It all starts with a swarm in the spring or summer. Hives become crowded until they split in half. Half the bees, including the old queen, leave to find a new home. They hang in a tree or other place, while the scouts from the swarm look for a new home. And that's how colonies reproduce. And if they find a good spot, like the inside of a tree, a wall, shed, or somebody's house, they move right in. Okay, so as you can see, we had bees living in the bottom of the tree. The main hole for the tree is near the bottom. At the bottom, I should say. And we drill a hole about 2 to 3 feet above the other hole, hoping to find the top of the cavity. First hole was a dead end, and build a second hole beneath it, and we see smoke coming out of the hole. So now the job is to saturate the inside of that cavity where the bees have their hive with as much smoke as we can get in there. So we start puffing smoke, and then we put in a lot of bee repellent and back and forth, and then we give the bees a break every so often from the smoke. But the idea is we want to make that hive as unlivable as possible. We want to break the will of the bee. And so it's smoke the bee, then repellent, and so on and so forth, back and forth. As you go on, you'll see that around the main entrance of the hive, it changes color, and that's the bees. So now we're looking at the leaf blower, which we'll use at the end of the job, and the bee vac setup. The bee vac is 2 buckets inside of each other with a screen in the bottom of the first one. Anyway, now you can see the colors actually already changed since we broke away from the entrance. It's darker colors now. On a lot of jobs, we'll have to use the leaf blower earlier in the job because we just can't get enough volume in there, and so the bees will have to be used. So you have to use the leaf blower. But this one had only the one long entrance at the bottom, and so it was almost a textbook case of an abscond. Yes, this process is called a forced abscond. Okay, so now that smoker's still working. And we have to continuously replenish the supplies in the smoker because you run out of fuel because you're smoking a lot of stuff. I mean, we are pumping a lot of smoke into the hive. And we don't want the bees to want to live there anymore. We want the bees to think there's a forest fire and that they need to get out of that house. So hopefully we'll get the bees to leave that cavity. So right now off camera he's refilling the fuel in the smoker. Yes, it can get boring sometimes, but the point is that it takes time to do this. And understand that I have cut out a lot of footage because, an hour and a half, 2 hours of doing this. It's a tedious job. In this case, I got the chance to video it more than normal because normally we have bees up higher in a tree. Here he's taking bees off the vacuum because There's a lot of scent from previous jobs still on that vacuum. The bees are attracted to it. And he's vacuuming the bees off through the entrance. Okay, anyway, I walked away for a few minutes, and they found the queen. We caged the queen, we put her on top of the hive, and brought her back over and put her in front of the entrance. This way, the bees will be able to land on the hive, our hive, and start gathering around the queen there. They'll land on the drawn comb or the foundation. A shameless self-promotion. If you're in South Central Texas, see the coverage area on the screen right now. And if you spot a swarm or have bees where they should not be, call or text us right now. 210-880-5514. Please don't be afraid to leave a message. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. And here you see a close-up of the bees. Vacuuming them up. And you can see them coming out of that hole right there. Anyways, like I said before, vacuuming the bees, puffing smoke, vacuuming the bees, puffing smoke. Putting some more repellent in, and back and forth we go. After about 2 or 3 hours, typically we have the bees will broken and the bees are in our box. Vacuuming the bees, getting them out of the crevices in the bark can sometimes be difficult. Then we have this little tool that we use to do that. We don't want to use it all the time because it accelerates the bees to too high a level. But for limited use, it's okay. We continue to vacuum the bees, cleaning them up, getting down the crevices, getting all the bees that we've missed that might be hiding down in the grooves of the bark. Getting near the bees that we can find still stuck down deep inside the hive. And the work continues. At some point, we realize that we're reaching the point of diminishing return. And so, here we go, look. You can see all the bees climbing all over the area where the queen is, in between the frames. And at this point, we decide that we have reached the point of diminishing returns. And it's time to go dump the bees out of the bee vac onto the bucket. We had enough bees giving us a queen sign, put enough pheromones that we believe that it's time to dump the bees. So it's the big bee dump. We dump the bees out so they won't get too sweaty. And they will work their way down between the frames and into the hive. A few of them will fly up in the air and be confused, but majority of them are going to go into the box. And the ones that do not will climb back in. We'll leave the top edge of the hive cracked open while we go and finish vacuuming around the tree in a minute here. So we close the box up. We put the bee vac back together. And then we're going to come back to it in a few minutes. So now we're probably going to go back to the bee tree. And as you look, you see the bee tree where it's at. So we're going to swivel around and you can see where the hive was that we dumped them. And it's about 150 feet away. Maybe 100 feet. Now we're going to focus on cleaning up at the end, getting all the bees we can out of the tree. And just keep on working. Vacuuming the bees again, getting any stragglers that have been missed. By this point, we already have foragers coming back, not finding the queen mama there. They don't know what to do. Anyway, we vacuum them up. Get all of the can vacuumed up at this point. And now we have the leaf blower going to push the smoke out. You can see how saturated that hive was. That hive was very saturated. We also noticed, and we did this, that there was very little resistance in the hive, which told us that there were not a whole lot of bees left in the hive, that most of the bees had already left. Also, we could tell by the volume of the bees that we dumped in. Yeah, we had most of the bees already in that box, the vast majority. And now all the smoke is gone. We don't see any more bees really coming out of the hive. And so we're going to cut some screen to the right size. And we take that screen and we tuck it into the entrance to the cavity. We use a crowbar to go and push it in a little bit deeper than you can with your fingers. The idea here is that the screen by itself wouldn't do the job. Even if you put staples on it, the bees will find a way to wiggle their way through it, push it off. Enough determined bees will move the screen, even stapled down. And anyway, tuck it in, and then we start putting some foam in there. The foam is going to glue that screen to the wall. It's going to seep through the holes in the screen, go behind it. It's going to fill a cavity behind it. It's going to lock that screen into place, and the bees will not be able to remove it. We also fill the holes that we drilled inside and insert foam into that. Anyway, meanwhile, while we're doing all of this, the bees are lost and confused, don't know exactly what they're going to do because there's no more home for them. Those that find the box can fly over to the box and will go into the box. And then a lot of them will be attracted to the bee vacuum itself, and we have to clean that bee vacuum off. So we suck all those bees up on the bee vacuum. And then we also are pretty exhausted by this time, and as you can see, this guy is like totally exhausted. And anyway, that's a forced abscond in a nutshell. And if you have bees in a tree, or bees in a wall, or bees in a storage shed, or bees in a water meter, please give us a call at 210-880-5514. You can also visit our website at steveforbees.us, and you can send me an email at steveforbees@gmail.com. May you have a very blessed day.